something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
Well, howdy, folks. How you doing this very fine 2nd of January? Is the new year seen you in well? I trust it's been a good one for you. New Year's for me was, it was a great night, wonderful night. Started off the night doing a bit with Guru for a while, then had to go off to my good night. I did slot back into the green room and on Guru's program a little towards midnight their time. I think it was probably about an hour before that. And unfortunately, I think all the rooms were full up. So I sat there for a while, but it was a bit unfortunate. I was in a pool. Thought it might have made for an interesting backdrop. And I had to get out of the pool. I was starting to freeze. Parts of me were going hard. Anyway, it was getting cold. Can I just put it that way? I hope your New Year's went well. Why was I in a pool? Well, I'd partaken in a bottle of tequila that I'd been given for my birthday by Dwayne, the rough nut who lives on the property here and I do a lot of work with. Not just any tequila. This was some caramel kind of thing that is absolutely delightful. Ordinarily not a tequila drinker, but that one, more like a liqueur. And I think I've spoken of Taylor, who is the young lady who's staying on the property with us at the moment. She turns out didn't mind it either. So we polished that off and a few other things. Saw in the new year, although I must admit we only recognised it was the new year 9 minutes into the new year. The tequila may have had some effect. But anyway, that's how we saw New Year in the next day. Very good day. Went off... one of the guys here celebrated his birthday, so we went back to the pub for a pub lunch, which was pretty nice. And it turns out I wasn't unwell at all. So no hangovers, no nothing. Can't honestly say that this tequila was as good as the Polish cherry vodka that I was partaking of in Victoria a little while back. But still, this one was pretty good. I hope you guys had a fantastic and very safe New Year's. And I know there were some strange and weird and wonderful things that happened New Year's Eve in other parts of the world. Thankfully, at this juncture, I don't believe too much happened in ours. Even Robbie Williams managed to put his concert together on what probably is the smallest stage he's ever appeared on since he was 8 years of age at the Sydney Opera House or somewhere beside it. I watched none of any of that shit. Don't know if you did. I hope the ABC did better this year. Are they the ones still hosting it? They've murdered the fireworks for the last few years. I usually only wait for the few days after, so the blooper reel comes out to show exactly how bad it all was. But at any rate, hope yours New Year's was good. Rachel, hope you're having a good one too. The happiest and highest of New Year's. Yes, this year will be the one for all things. Many blessings to all and to you too. I trust you're rugging up down south because where you are, it's probably still bloody cold. Aussie Sue, God love you. Hope you are well and life goes well. Pete from Penaroo. How are you, brother? Thank you for your information today. I've got half the job done. That meaning I've got the bus turned around. But Pete gave me some advice today on my fridge. When he learned in the show, was it this morning, that I mentioned that I have a fridge in here and it's like a 3/4 fridge. It's a fridge freezer stand-up thing. It's quite a nice fridge at the end of the day, at least outwardly, but it doesn't work. The freezer part will work. I haven't quite figured out exactly how or why, but I have figured out that it will work. But the fridge part, absolutely a no-go. But he gave me a little trick today, which I'm going to try, and we'll see whether or not we can't get the bottom half working. I've got to say, it'll change my living extensively if that's the case. So thanks, mate. Thank you for the tip. Margot, Happy New Year to you, darling. I hope you are very well and life, treated you well. Can't imagine you partied the new year in, but if you did, God love you. Tony, how are you, buddy? Hope you're going well. And I know for New Year's you must have done something spectacular. You probably stayed up till 11 o'clock at least, I reckon. Did you? Sorry, mate. Being a bit facetious. I hope you had a great one, mate, and I hope 2025 brings you all the success in the world. Rachel, Pete's back chatting again. I'm still sitting here in the middle of the chat, so seeing who else has rolled up. Dusty, hope you're well, mate, and life in the Worth is going well. In fact, we'll be gearing up for the party about now, won't it? Country Music Festival's got to be coming up soon, so I don't know. Do you rent the backyard out for $3,000 a night? You could probably do that any time of the year now, but good land. Hard to get a bed in your part of the world during January. G'day, what the? Hope you are well. Debs, I hope you are well. And Happy New Year to you too. Scrolling. Peg's in place. So is Paul. Sally's here. Andrew's here. The rockin' housewife is back in town. Oh, shit, I thought I'd got to the bottom of it, and there's a whole heap more just turned up. Okay, all right. Hello, Frank. Hello, everybody else. G'day, Donna. I see Daniel from Keen Mira is in town. Summer Nats. They finished? Or are they just about to start? I'm hearing at the moment that in Canberra, if you have a car that has a set of mags on it, you're going to get pulled over. And your car is going to be gone over with a comb, a very fine tooth comb, and potentially get canaried and put off the road, even if there is nothing spectacularly wrong with it. So I'm not sure whether or not Summer Nats is still on. It is. So, everybody in Canberra at the moment, God bless you, and I hope you're having a great time. To the blokes who built themselves a burnout car called Sizzler. It's a Commodore with an awesome emerald green paint job and about 1,500 horsepower stuck under the bonnet. Well, there is no bonnet. It's a burnout car. But to those guys who built that thing I think they gave themselves less than 3 weeks. And they'd just come back from America doing a tour of burnouts over there where they really showed the Yanks up. And, it starts today. Oh, shit. Oh, there you go. I thought it was earlier than that. Well, there you go. Everybody heading to Summer Nats. Good luck. But if you've got anything wrong with your car and you expect to drive it around the ACT, and I suspect Queanbeyan and places around there, you will get pulled over. They are pulling over everybody and doing a lot of checks, apparently. And we love the police for keeping us all safe on the road. God love you. Connie. Well, pate Thailand, or is it you're having a Thailand pate for dinner? And if you're in Thailand, wouldn't it be a satay, not a pate? I'm just saying, I'm a bit confused. And what have you done with Alan? Are you anywhere near Phuket? Just saying, Alan might have found there are dangers in Phuket. Just be aware. There are dangers all the way through Thailand. But God love you and Alan. I hope you are having a wonderful time in Thailand, Christmas and New Year. So it might be a bit sweaty in your part of the world, Connie. Might be a bit sweaty. So this is why you've been quiet, Rachel. 5 dogs for weeks. Yes, I imagine you've been surrounded in puppy juice for a long time. It's probably, I meant saliva. So how lovely. For those of you that don't know, Rachel looks after dogs when people can't. And she's a hell of a dog sitter, but the dogs come to her. She didn't go to you. Anyway, Happy New Year, Phil. Hope things going well with you, mate. And for 2025, big things indeed planned. So, well, not fingers crossed. We are walking forward in positivity this year. Absolutely 100% in positivity. It's got to happen. Have a great and grand New Year to you, Rockin' Housewife. I think I said hello to Margot earlier, Mr. Scrappy. Great to meet you too. Sandy K, the donkey darlin. I was trying to find another word. There is another one. Doesn't really. I'm into alliteration and that kind of thing. I've got to come up with something better than Sandy the donkey darling. Doesn't flow off the tongue really well. Sandy, of course, the owner. And where is it? I put it here for just this reason. The owner of the donkey sanctuary in New South Wales, but it is in fact an Australian sanctuary. They will go just about anywhere to pick up a donkey in need. And I say just about because I did one day say they will go anywhere, and I got a phone call very quickly saying, well, depending on how far it is and how much fuel, and that's the killer. Fuel is the thing. So if you happen to know of an abandoned donkey somewhere, because I've been buggered with this hand and haven't been able to do too much, Sandy, in all her loveliness, sent me, I don't know how many packages of healthcare things for the little Joey and other wildlife for us to use here at the property. And I mean a lot of it. And a lot of it came in those overnight bags that are plastic, stretchy kind of stuff. And I couldn't stretch it to rip it to open it. I could cut it open, but even still holding the bag to get stuff out of it was difficult. It was very painful. So I didn't give it up. I stuck it all in a corner over here behind me, and it was quite a mound. It filled up the whole nook. And I went through it the other day, now that I have some use back of this, and got all the stuff out, got it all open, got it all separated, put it into containers, and now we know what's what and where it actually is. I think that's an achievement. When I say we, I did that. I needed Taylor's help to actually get it out of the bus because while the hand's sort of working, it's not anywhere near able to carry much by way of weight. But in the process of opening up one of these myriad Aussie Post bags, I received this. I hope you can see it. Now, this is just some of the merch you can get from the Donkey Sanctuary. And please, Sandy, post up the address in the chat for us. And inside, I'm not sure if it was inside it or not, but inside the little package that I opened, I also came across, which will have the website on it, if I hold it up the right way, donkeyrescue.org.au, a stubby opener, a second stubby opener, because she knows I like to drink 2 beers, at least, and this wonderful little keyring. Thank you, Sandy. It was a wonderful little surprise when I've gone through all of this, and I've got it all in what I am now going to use as a bag for something. These are going straight to the keys, not the pool room. But I will find a very good and regular use for this bag. Could I make a suggestion, though? My mum learned, apparently from a very early age, of my very early age, not to ever give me anything white, because it doesn't stay white very long. And I've already managed to, while just having this sitting here beside me, make it less white than it was when it first arrived. So maybe you have them in other colours. That's great. But in future, white ones and me around here, not so good. God love you. Hope you and Baz have a wonderful 2025. And the donkeys that need rescuing, get your help. Tez, g'day to you. G'day to Gray. And who else? Jindalee's in the house, mate. Hope you're well. Things will be loud down your way too. Please pass on my best to Karen at the, well, if she's got any brains, she's probably taken holidays about now, but it was one of the big times of the year for Epic. So Karen's the lovely lady who works in the booking office. At least she did last time I was down there. So, yeah, tremendous lady. Pop in, say hello, hi to her if you're at Summernats. Look after her. She's a good woman and a great friend. Scotty Smith, nice to have you in. G'day, Joe. And, okay, I think I've said hello to everybody else. Alan. Scotty the News is in the house. God. You're in Pattaya. Is that where you are? That's the answer I've been looking for, Connie. I'm just slow scrolling. Pattaya, not Pattaya. All right. Pattaya. I say that like I know where that is, but I'll look it up. It'll be lovely. I hope you're both having a wonderful time. And Happy New Year to you. Oh, that's beautiful. J1. That is epic. Just epic. For those of you wondering why I might be laughing, I'm not going to let you in on the gag, but Daniel, a lot of rimming going on in Canberra at the moment, eh? Epic. Oh, I'm sorry. Epic. Oh, Donna got it. Thank you, Donna. Although she's crying with laughter too, by the look of it. I'm just catching up to you guys. I'm sorry. So there you go. Oh, God. All right. Mr. Scrappy's in town. Hey, dude. God. Hello, Shaz. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get the tears out of my eyes. Connie, you're off visiting your son and his wife. How wonderful. Oh, are there any grandbabies over there hiding? Or is this the son that has that special car we spoke about? I think it would be. Pass on my very best to him. And to his wife, of course. I hope you have a lovely time. Thank you, Shaz. Really, thank you so much. And any cooker is a friend of mine. So haven't heard anything from Cooker Watch, although I think I may have had a meeting with her and not known it. So that could be interesting. I'm just getting the tears out. Pardon me. Oh, God, that's comment of the year so far. All right. I think we're going to have to keep a comment of the year list. So J1, I've got to go back and find it now because that needs to be kept. There it is. I'm just going to star that. So we will have this in perpetuity. It's a time-related gag, folks. If you don't get it, you may have to go to... Oh, shit, no, don't type that into Google. You may have to ask your kids. I don't know. I'm not going to explain it to you. Oh, fuck, that's funny. Sorry, it still got me. Yes, Andrew, 100% you did. You did manage to get me. Yeah. That's what gearheads do. Filthy warped mind. Yes, Daniel, you're 100% right. I'm sorry, I should slap myself. I've got Taylor here to slap me, but then you'll accuse me of having some woman fetish I've got or something. Is that how it works? I don't know. Taylor's not slapping me. She'd enjoy it far too much. Just between you, me, and the gay post. I don't often do the show with an audience, and I won't show it because it's difficult to, given the setup, but I haven't asked. So that's how it is. Mr. Scrabby, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your sticker. These sticker things are new to me. I haven't really seen all this before, so maybe once or twice in the old days, but yeah. Oh, by the way, folks, we hopefully will get Voice of Freedom, the YouTube channel, back in the next couple of days. You'll hear me talking about Taylor a bit in the next few days. Don't go getting your hopes up, all right? There are those of you out there I know who are already texting me saying, oh, this Taylor, you talk about her a lot. Yeah. Taylor has a lot of skills, though. Taylor has a lot of skills. One of them is building trailers for boats. She was also involved in building boats, which is pretty flash. She has a trailer that she wants to sell. She needs that so that she can buy a car so that she can tow her caravan to her next place of residence. This is obviously, she's here at the moment. She's right with us. We're all sort of trying to help out where we can, and she is trying to help out in return. And some of those skills come to the fore. God, can I tell you, today she's, well, given me a lot more work to do, because I thought I was nearly ready to take us all on a journey of how to work one of these amazing airless paint sprayers while I spray some containers that Cass has that need to go the same colour. And one of them's old, one of them's reasonably new. And I thought I'd done a pretty reasonable job getting the rust out of most of the old one. And then Taylor came along, and, well, there was a short period of laughing, and then just this really sad look on her face while she was telling me exactly what needed to be done. And there's a lot more needed to be done. So we will be having a conversation about whether or not she is prepared to be seen on camera while we do the container, because I have no doubt it may provide a wealth of comedic comedy content. Sadly, I may fall over and break another. No, don't say it. Don't say it. Stupid things could happen, is all I'm saying. Mr. Scrappy, thank you so much for the sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gray, for your comment. No, I'm not going to go and put that up, but thank you very much for your comment. Thank you, Daniel. I'm not putting that up either. You all have very sick minds, very sick minds. And trust me, when you meet... Oh, no, Rach, trust me. The only reason the Benny Hill music would be in the back of any trailer building segment would be if I was the one building the trailer. Although maybe that's how Benny Hill might have filmed it, actually, with you building the trailer and me just running around panting in the background. Well, there's no running around panting in the background. But I have to say, Taylor has turned into a wonderful friend, one of the most interesting people I've sat down and had conversations with in a long, long time. And it has been a bit of a... Well, she was saying the other day, there's a reason that she's come here and that she's in our life, we're in hers. We're sort of all helping each other in a roundabout way. So I think that's what community's all about, isn't it? So that's the whole reason that she was allowed to come here in the first place, and the whole reason that this place was set up in the first place. So, you know, if she leaves the place dirty on the way out, it'll be a suck it and see, you know. But she's doing pretty well so far. So, Aussie Sue, God love you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that your new year is going to be much better than the last one. There's a couple of... well, can we call them minor medical bits and pieces in there? But I'm trusting 2025 is going to be a lot better for you. Thank you, Suze. You do such wonderful things for us here in the community. You're one of our moderators, and you're here with every show. So thank you so much for the dedication that you show, and the fact that we've never met, because I haven't got to Mount Isa yet. Well, we're going to change that. I'm coming to the Isa. I'm just not coming when it's hot. Well, really hot, because Mount Isa's always friggin' hot. All right. Aussie Sue is a legend, Shads. You're 100% right. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Let me tell you a few things that are going on in the world today. And maybe the last couple of days. If you ask me, ScoMo looks scared shitless here, but this is the picture of him on New Year's Eve at Mar-a-Lago with his wife and Trump and Melania. Now, I got to say, what was her name? Julie. I don't even think they mention it in the thing, do they? Scott Morrison spent New Year's with himself and his wife. Jenny! There you go. Not Julie, Jenny. Anyway, they spent the night there. Trump looks like he's the cat that's eaten the mouse. Melania doesn't really look like Melania, if you ask me. Let me blow that up so I can have a better look at my end. Oh, it looks more like her now that I've blown it up a bit. But I'm not seeing the screen on the same size you are here, folks. That's why I say I'll blow it up a bit. Yeah, don't know why ScoMo would be there. Hopefully, hopefully he's been sent by Kevin Rudd to apologise profusely, and Crud will be trying to beg his bloody job back, because that's the kind of weak bastard that he is. Now, I want to play you, if I can find it very quickly, I want to play you a little bit of music here. Now, this is a young girl called Aya May. Have a listen to this. And this, she's lost her record contract because of the song lyrics, some of which you've just heard. How about that? What a surprise. You'd call that being banned, and she was the next big thing coming out of Australian record industry. So her name is Aya May, and I think she's now releasing stuff, or will be in the near future, I'm sure, independently. So you might want to give that a bit of a look. So from that little bit of an up to this really shithouse decision that has been handed down in a New South Wales court over, just before Christmas, an accused pedophile was given bail after being charged with raping an 11-year-old girl. That's happened here in Queensland. There have been a number of other pedophile or child abuse cases that have been heard, but we haven't actually been able to report on for whatever reason, usually because there's been an appeal in process or whatever. At the moment, I can tell you that there is an Indian man who's been jailed for 10 years, had his sentence increased to 10 years after an 8-year was initially given to him, for the abuses that he made on 3 children in a cult that he basically formed. That was an Indian bloke. And he will go now for 10 years with potential for parole in 8. There is a Sri Lankan man in Sydney who has been charged with multiple offences against multiple small children. And there is another Indian gentleman who's been charged with some pretty horrific sexual assault charges and acts of restraint. And I don't mean personal restraint. I mean, he's restraining someone. So I don't know what that's actually called, but there is quite a few of these sorts of things happening at the moment, which is hardly surprising when you consider how our immigration has been thrown open to the world. However, when I say the world, it has been thrown open more broadly to India than anywhere else in the world.
Fuck you. Good lad. Yeah.
Yeah. More broadly than anywhere else in the world, it's gone to India. Have you ever wondered what that bloke, bloke,
good lad,
have you ever wondered what he did before he came to Australia? One of those blokes is now owning a 7-Eleven near you. It probably gives you your morning sausage roll.
Fuck
Just saying.
you. Good lad.
Okay, yep, all right, understand. Shall we move on? Let's move on. Here's another one to look at. Joe Biden has decided by decree, can I just show you, that American flags will fly at half-mast, not just because or during Trump's inauguration, but because former President Jimmy Carter died, I think on Christmas Day. And while there is a very fitting period of time to have the flags at half-mast for a former president, having them go 30 days when there is inauguration of a new president coming through is a bit rough. But I don't think Trump gives a flying, you know what, about whether the flags are halfway up, halfway down, up the top, down the bottom. It's not going to dissuade him from going on with anything that he is planning to work on here in the future. There's new research coming out of Japan that indicates that the jab has been responsible not just for the things we think, but for many more diseases. And we were talking today about how the UK are now reporting a very deadly flu season. You remember how flu was non-existent during Quackvid? Well, now there is no Quackvid, but a lot of people are dying from the flu. More people than ever before, as it turns out. Now, this takes us back to the times where this all began, and we started warning people. And as our knowledge grew, and, you know, maybe it was 18 months, 2 years, might have been 2.5 years in, but it's been some time now, we have known that the killing cycle, if you like, for what's inside the spicy dart has a 5-year time frame. They didn't want everybody keeling over at one time, and certainly didn't want them all keeling over the same things at the same time. Now, of course, because there is no Quackvid for people to, get too worried about, although they are saying it's back again in Queensland. Everybody outside of Queensland saying that. Nobody here in Queensland is telling me any of that. So, and we're not seeing it here in media or anything like that. Not that I watch mainstream media, so maybe it is. But what we are likely to see this year is a lot more deaths, and it will be laid down to the flu or complications from the flu or, things along those lines. It's just sick, demented, but the scale, the brain that put this together, I mean, seriously, the mind that put this evil plan together.
Fuck you.
Good lad.
Yeah.
That's about how I feel about it. When you go fishing on your fishing boat, you throw out a net, you cast away, sail around for a bit, and when you haul your net back in, what are you hoping you have in your net? Well, fish, I'm assuming, if that's what you're trying to catch. But occasionally they bring up things called bycatch. And recently, somebody not too far from New Jersey was fishing. Look what they pulled up. A lot of talk about drones flying around New Jersey and other places. So, yes, I think something to be a bit concerned about. Just a little bit concerned about. Vladimir Putin had a message over Christmas to everybody who was celebrating and going out to welcome in the new year. Well, not everybody. One specific
Они
group.
привыкли столетиями набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять, что бал вампиров заканчивается.
He looks pretty serious when he's saying that, I got to say. Extremely serious when he's saying that. I keep telling Mum, don't ring me. Oh, and it's not Mum, it's my sister. Doesn't watch the show. No, I won't say that. That's unfair. But my sister has a government job, so yes, doesn't watch the show. Let me get around to drones again. So if you are a home flying drone person, a DJI or some other kind of Chinese-made drone operator, or if in fact you are a homemade drone operator, there are some things you might want to be aware of when it comes to 5G towers. Get a load of what happens if you fly your drone too close to something.
Uzgaraktis Tower.
Whoa. Oh, that's not good. That's on fire.
That's a lithium-ion battery in that drone. And it was in close proximity, probably I would say within 3 meters of those emitters for less than 5 seconds total. But it probably was in line with those emitters as it flew in for a total, I didn't measure it, but a total of probably less than 15 seconds. And in that time, it cooked the batteries in the drone to a point where they could explode. Don't worry about us, folks. Don't worry about us. There's nothing to see here with 5G. It's only helping the people. Yeah. All right. So while Donald Trump was also looking after ScoMo New Year's Eve, when it came time for the dancing, he wasn't going to be seen anywhere near our ScoMo. No. He was going to be standing beside the second worst dancer in the world. Elon Musk. So I'm pleased that Donald Trump was standing beside Elon Musk on New Year's Eve at Mar-a-Lago, because there are a lot of other things that happened regarding Teslas on New Year's Eve, like this one in Vegas.
Copy.
Yeah. Okay. So was it a bomb? Was it a bomb? Was it a bomb?
Copy.
Was it a box of fireworks going off in the back?
Copy.
A box of fireworks going off in the back?
Copy.
I think there was a box of fireworks in the back, but was it the actual ignition point for all of this? Or was it the lithium-ion batteries that power the Cybertruck?
Copy.
So we've certainly seen lithium-ion batteries go up pretty bad in the not too recent past. I've seen a video with a man whose car shut down, his Tesla. I'm not going to name it. I don't know if it was a Tesla. It might have been another model or another make of electric vehicle, but it shut down. In fact, I want to say it was a Chinese-made vehicle, which probably still the same for Tesla. But anyway, it shut down. He couldn't get out of the vehicle, and then the lithium-ion batteries cooked off in it and killed him. He couldn't get out of the car. Everything was electronic. So the Cybertruck is almost impenetrable. They rate it as bulletproof, and even today, while Tesla were consulted about this, and that they can drill into the last moments of that truck. They know every movement it's had. They know everything about it, engine-wise, tracking-wise, where it's been, how it's been, all that. And they also know that at the time, the engine and all the systems, the electrical systems, were all in perfect working order. The machine wasn't registering any faults in any way, shape, or form. So we can probably draw a line through the lithium-ion battery idea. So that leaves a bomb or a box of fireworks. If it's a bomb, and bear in mind, this Tesla Cybertruck blew up at the front doors of Donald Trump's Trump International Hotel in Vegas, at the front doors, right?
Copy.
Now, you don't really get much of a look in this video because it cuts off before the smoke clears. But I can tell you that the front doors and windows to the Trump International Hotel in Vegas are intact. They did not get blown in. There was no shattered glass, no nothing. So either they are reinforced for bombings just like this, which is highly possible, or the bomb itself wasn't too powerful. Bombs usually crater with a vehicle. They'll leave a crater underneath it when it goes off. Usually the explosion blasts through the floor first, and the rest of it sort of keeps going. There doesn't appear to be any kind of crater here. This seems to be an incendiary that's gone off with a bang, but it hasn't been designed to blow the car apart like a car bomb. However, Tesla have also come out today and said the Cybertruck is designed in such a way that it will contain a blast if it comes from inside it. So clearly they've done some research on lithium-ion batteries going up. I think it's worthy to have maybe one more look.
Copy.
So you can certainly see colors in the little bouncing fireworks, let's call them, that are bouncing off the tarmac around the vehicle. You can also see that the vehicle is pretty much still intact. It didn't get blown up into the air or moved around or away in any kind of way, shape or form. So could it have been a big box of New Year's Eve fireworks? If so, how did they go off? And is it a sign? So watch this space, folks. Watch this space. I think that's probably one of the interesting things for me. At the moment, there is a lot of talk about January 6th. So the political battle is very serious until we get to actually the point of inauguration and get Trump into the White House. And there's no guarantee yet that that will happen because from the indications that I'm hearing, the Democrats are very definitely going to run a Section 3 of the 14th Amendment campaign to try and exclude Trump as eligible to serve as president due to incitement and other charges that he has faced in courts in New York and other places. And nobody's ever won. He's never been... they've never been able to convict him of incitement, and any fair reading of or listening to what he said at the meetings on January the 6th will indicate just that. Of course, there is no fair readings when a Democrat is involved or fair hearings. So, yeah, just shite, really, anyway. Wild Aussie woman. Why didn't we meet up when I was in SA? Well, where could I be? I was only in a few places in the eastern part of South Australia, and I'm not exactly sure in which part of South Australia you are in, Wild Aussie Woman. Had I have known, you would have, of course, been someone I would have loved to have caught up with. But we were in Mount Gambier, we were in Pinaroo, and pretty much Adelaide. And I was only in Adelaide one night to catch the plane out the next morning. And of course, Mannum on my way in when Vince picked me up. So if you were anywhere around there and I had known, we would have very happily caught up, Vince and I both. But unfortunately, we missed you. However, the plan is to be back in Adelaide. We love South Australia, and the folks in South Australia, wonderful people. I'll have a few of them on, hopefully. In fact, what day of the week is it? Is it a Thursday or a Friday? Or what day is it today? It's a Thursday. Righto. So I might even see if I can make an effort and find what Mr. Dwyer is doing for tomorrow night. And, pardon me, we might have a bit of a catch-up. Well, Aussie Woman, if you're in Adelaide, you better send me an email address so I can let you know when next I'm in Adelaide. although watch the show, because I'll be saying, hey, I'm in Adelaide. And I'll be in a big blue bus. It's pretty easy to spot when you see it parked up on the side of the road. So apologies for missing you this trip. Although by the time we got to Adelaide, that day, I had a very draining day that day. I'd had if you go back and have a look at the video of that day or the live that I did that night from Adelaide, you'll see that I was drained. And I was drained not from the weekend or the weeks that I'd had. I was drained because I had an energy vampire get to me, and I allowed it to get to me. And it sucked it clean out of me. So I don't know that I would have been much fun on the Sunday night and the few hours we would have had to spend together. But next time, look out. Well, I'm not the party animal I once was. So let's just be honest, all right? You know, a coffee and a decent feed, and I'm ready for bed, like to sleep. I mean, moving on. Comments. Should be back. It depends on a few things that happen here this month, and it probably depends a little bit on what happens with Donald Trump. There is another issue that's happening in the background, not to do with the bus, but to do with the bus. It's nothing mechanical. That needs to be sorted out before I take it too far. So working on that, have been for some months. So we'll see what happens. Just having a bit of a screen. Righto. Do I think Biden's going to call for military on foot and terror now? Watch. Yes. So, yes. So these two great events that have happened, the blowing up of the vehicle at Vegas, will move on. I don't think, if anybody was hurt, I don't think anybody was killed, were they? Or maybe there was a person inside. Yeah, maybe there was one person killed inside the vehicle. I'm particularly interested in what's happened in New Orleans. In fact, while we were working today, Taylor, who has an inquiring mind also, can I tell you, pointed out quite a number of interesting points about the New Orleans car massacre, for the want of a better term. And I've had my doubts about it since I started reading about it early this morning, just after my live, funnily enough. The whole backstory for the person responsible for this just smells of false flag. Every bit of it smells of false flag. The guy had full body armor on. He's ex-military. He was into logistics and supply in the military. He had toured Iraq and Afghanistan. They found an ISIS flag. There are pictures of him lying beside the vehicle. The vehicle is an electric F-150 that was hired through a ride share hire thing called Turo, Turo. And it's like if I owned an F-150 and you needed to borrow an F-150, you can do it. It's like Uber, but you do the driving. And it had been used many, many times before prior. This bloke's got in it and decided to go and run over, I think, 11 people dead now, and God knows how many more in hospital. I have some doubts about the photos of the crime scene there. This happened at 3:00 in the morning. The photos I've seen are taken mid-morning. The body is still exposed and open and on the ground. And this was thanks to Taylor's eye, who actually pulled that one up, I think. The body is still exposed on the ground, looking very fresh, hasn't been touched. There is no medical paraphernalia around it. There are no modesty rugs or plastic bags or anything. And he's been out on the ground, well, got to say for at least 3. Let's assume the sun comes up at 6 a.m. A lot more hours than that. There is no tent over it, no nothing. It looks exactly like the kind of scene you would see set up for a false flag. So I have a lot of questions still to ask about that. And, of course, another terrible accident that happened over the last few days is the aircraft crash in Seoul, South Korea, or out of Seoul, I think it was. It's in a different city. Now, Taylor, once again, the inquiring mind that she is, we got to talking about this today. I've only ever seen one sort of aspect of this crash, one video aspect of this crash, as I think most of us have. She's found a few other photos, pulled up a few other interesting angled photos, raises some interesting questions. One of those photos shows the skid marks of the aircraft traveling down the runway. Those skid marks, which are the engines essentially, and the belly dragging down the runway, scraping down the runway, only really come into play from what looks to be in a distorted photo, given the perspective and the kind of lens that's used, only look to be less than, well, maybe a third of the way back from the accident site, meaning that's where it touched down, in the last third of the runway, or certainly over halfway. The other interesting thing about this aircraft crash is that they are claiming there was a bird strike and that the pilots said birds, and that the birds had damaged their landing gear. Now, the aircraft landed with its gear up. Now, assuming a bird strike, okay, very rare that they would be able to damage landing gear that was protected inside the fuselage by the landing gear doors. However, maybe the landing gear was open and the birds flew into it, in which case the landing gear was already down. Why did the pilot retract it or whatever? And if it did retract, why wouldn't it go back out again? Too much munched up bird? Didn't get munched up enough on the way in? I don't know. So a little weird. The other particularly concerning one for me is the sound of the engines as the jet goes past. Those engines are not in idle, they are in power. The engines are not in reverse thrust, as near as I can tell. They are in power. And the flaps are fully retracted. Now, if you had a damaged aircraft that you were going to belly land, and I've got to admit, it looks like a picture-perfect, dead, flat, level, emergency. You couldn't get a better emergency belly landing of a heavy aircraft ever, except for the bit at the end where it hit a cement pillar and tried to put its tail through its, well, nearly succeeded in putting its tail through its cockpit. 2 people survived, 2 people in the tail. That's about the only part of the aircraft that's left recognizable. I was asked the question, I wonder what was on it. So MH370 was a who and a what was on it. Gold and computer chips. Very smart people on MH370. On this one, I wonder who was on that plane. I wonder what was on that plane, because there is nothing left of it. Just nothing left of it. So keep an eye on those sorts of things happening. And it's interesting that it all tended to happen right around New Year, when all the best sacrifices to Satan are made. Did you pick up on that? So, yeah, we'll see what's happening. Look out, Michelle's going to South Australia for 3 weeks in February. God, you're going for all of February. There is only 3 weeks in February, isn't there? Oh, no, 28 days you might. Yeah. Is it a leap year next year? Would have been this year, wouldn't it? 24. Won't be on an off year. So, well, that sounds lovely, Michelle. Might see you there. Just between you, me, and the gatepost. All right. I'm just having a bit of a quick scan about whoever's been posting. The fog. Pegs. Yes, you brought up a really great one. Sorry, I meant to mention this earlier. I believe we've had our taste of this fog. I believe Rhonda a friend of the family has been in an area where that has happened. I actually believe she caught maybe some of those particles. There is evidence, obviously, in Europe at the moment where they're saying there's a fog out there. But the fog is like nothing they've ever seen before. It's not smoke. It's actually fibrous, and it's staying around all day, not leaving. It's very hazardous to drive in. It's, fog is always pretty hazardous to drive in, but apparently this shit's even more reflective than a normal, or what we call a natural fog. So Europe being inundated with it at the minute, and it may have something to do with monkeypox. Of course, the WHO have now come out and said that monkeypox is going to be the next big thing we have to be very, very careful of. Maria Z has a great expose on about how monkeypox is a bioweapon, and very worthwhile having a bit of a read on that. You can go to zmedia.com and check that out. She's getting some great interviews, Maria, and doing a great job, whether she's here in Australia or overseas. So much congratulations to her. Yes, Rachel, Assange did talk about dust. Now, going to have to go and find my my WikiLeaks login and search dust. If you've got all the WikiLeaks downloads, folks, go in and do a keyword search for fog and dust and see what you come up with. Smart dust. Well, I don't know that this is smart, but we shall see. We shall see. Donna. You were a long way back. Tesla. You heard both vehicles were hired from the same company. Kev, I might have heard that too and just neglected to remember it. Yeah. Oh, look out. Look out. Pete from Pinaroo is offering to be a personal guide for anybody who wants to go to South Australia for a holiday, by the look of it. I may have overstated it, but I'm sure he'd love to see you for dinner at the Golden Grain in Pinaroo if you want to call past. He might, if he has some, even sell you a little bit of his garlic. And God, can I tell you, it's good. He does grow other things, but the garlic is magnificent. All right, folks, what have we done? Oh, look, it's just about that time when we part after our first show of the year. There's been a little bit of mirth, a little bit of madness, and a little bit of mayhem. What is 2025 going to bring us? I've got to say, I'm pretty excited about it, pretty positive about it, and I'm looking forward to it immensely. I hope you are too, and I hope that you are learning how to be strong, how to ignite your curiosity, how to get a questioning mind, how to apply logic to seemingly obvious things that don't always appear too obvious. So, I'd thank you for your time so far, whether this is your first show or whether or not you've been part of the, I don't know how many I've done, over 400 probably, shows previous. Thank you for the support that you've given me through 2024. I really hope it can continue through 2025, and I hope that I bring you enough information, enough encouragement, and enough empowerment so that you too can stand up in your truth and be part of the solution that we all need. It might also help if you could help us get a few of those dickhead drivers off the road. That'd be okay.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!